Hey, and welcome back to It's New. It's a new show. And thankfully, again, I think when Morty's not here, so we're all much more smiley than usual.
I miss Morty.
I
Hey,
do. I miss Mordy too.
don't worry, he'll be back to defend himself soon. Anyway, I'll be covering the concept around combining Google search with LLMs in context learning, and also Google merchant listings have a new membership loyalty property that you can add to your pricing schema. Greg, what do you got?
I've got all the new information on pagination from Google.
You're so good at that. And a new?
I'm going to be covering some new cryptocurrency policy updates for the UAE.
Yada, yada, yada. All right. So Jeff Dean was on a podcast or YouTube video with Mr. Patel. I'm not going to pronounce the first name, who's really, really great at interviewing folks. And it was not just Jeff Dean, also Noam Shazer at Google. These are like the top AI guys at Google and have been at Google for 20 years or so. And they went through the topic of basically combining Google search with something called in-context learning. Now, it's hard to define, but I'll just use a definition from the web. In-context learning is a technique where an LLM is given examples or instructions within the input prompt to guide the response. And then the context window is specifically part of a larger language model, is the amount of text in tokens that the model can consider or remember at any given moment. So the concept is could we get all of Google search, I guess the index, into this type of context window? And the answer is it would be amazing if you could, and Jeff Dean spoke about it, but the computing processing power doesn't really support that now because the web is kind of infinite. And to put everything into these tokens and mash everything up and to make Google search work that way would be amazing, but it's just not practical today, but maybe one day. It's a pretty fascinating discussion if you're into this AI stuff and LLMs and all this, the future of Google search. So definitely worth watching. It's a very short clip. It's about less than 10 minutes, starts at the 32 mark. So I have more details about that on seroundtable.com. I'm not sure if any of you guys watched it or have any feelings about it. If not, we can move on.
I have not watched it yet.
No.
To be candid with you, Barry, but
Okay.
it's on my watch list for sure.
On your to watch list. Okay. And then Google announced new merchant listings membership loyalty pricing beta properties. So now if you do have like say your Costco or one of those types of stores where you have membership only pricing or special membership loyalty pricing, you can now mark that up in your actual product schema to tell Google that this is a specifically allowed for member pricing. It's a beta right now. They also have active pricing and strike through pricing, which is not new, but Google went ahead and explained those things a little bit better with more examples and JSON examples in the actual structured data markup documentation. I have more details about that on February 14th, but membership pricing might be pretty useful for some of your clients. So if you're doing any of that, definitely take a look at that. Greg, whenever you're ready.
All right. There is some chatter over on LinkedIn. It started out with a post from Brody Clark, which I sneaky agree with everything he's saying in his post, but he was talking about pagination and why people wouldn't just canonicalize all of the subpages to the main category page. To which Jan Carreels then had pinged John Mueller and Gary Yesh from Google and got some answers. And Jan, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Sorry if it's not. Said, what if you just take all of your products and have them on one big page and then you don't need the paginated pages? Why don't we just do that? To which John Mueller from Google chimed in and said, why do you think the search engine needs anything special for pagination? Why shouldn't a URL be a URL? Which I agree with that too. To which Jan had gone back and forth, and Gary had said, if something's useful on a page, it's useful. If it's not on a page, it's not on the page. What would you do if you're building a search engine? Would you crawl 100 pages of a paginated set and only store them combined on a single URL and treat other pages as unique pages? Feels like an unnecessary complication. So John's analysis is, if you've got a page, you've got it for a reason. You should have a reason for that page, and there could be helpful stuff. It could not be. Don't just make one giant page. But that didn't really address Brody's initial question, which again, I like that approach of saying you've got a sneaker category, and why do you need all 10 pages showing up and being indexed. Why wouldn't you canonicalize it to the main page? That's sort of what the canonical is made for, where
So
you have, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, 2 points. One is Google did have the whole confusion comes from Google having a method for this for over a decade and stopping that method in 2019 when Google removed rel next prev. And I think Vanessa Fox came up with that method, or somebody, maybe Miley Ohe, one of those Googlers came up with it, and Google was like, oh, we don't need it anymore. And Brody is kind of right, but at the same time, John's point is like, if you have a really cool sneaker on page 9 and you want Google to get to it, fine. Make sure just to allow Google and not canonicalize everything to page 1, because then Google is not going to be able to find page 9 and get that product. At the same time, you just want to have one Nike category page ranking. You can use sitemaps to submit all the other individual product pages. So I get it. It's a complex topic. And Google, since 2019, since that realm next prev, Google's always said, do not canonicalize the page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to page 1. Just let Google do a thing and it will crawl it. But a lot of SEOs tend to disagree with that and test different things. But again, Google's been going with their stance for the past 5 years now. So I don't know. I mean, SEOs have a little more. I mean, Brody's like a seasoned e-commerce SEO specialist, so I think he knows what he's talking about. But at the same time, Google's been seeing this and seeing what's going on with pagination for many, many years, especially John, who's been involved in this. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Test it yourself and see what works best, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And we've got some more news from the Merchant Center side of things. Merchant Center is now showing AI generated summaries, and was found by Sachin Patel over on Twitter X. And the example shows that there's an AI generated, it says experimental next to it, and it's pulling out some data that's germane to a specific product in his case. And it says, in the last 28 days, your overall traffic grew and clicks surged on a certain product. To improve your product performance in the future, focus on optimizing your product titles by highlighting important details at the beginning to better match search queries. I think this is fine. It would be great if you could kind of like get some. The problem is a lot of people, I have some retailers that have like 160,000 products, and like getting one of these, you'd be like, oh, okay, this isn't that helpful. But you know, if you're a smaller D2C person, this could be great. I really would like to see instead like more graphs or charts, as I call them. I think that would be, I think that might be a little bit more beneficial, but hey, I'm here for it. This is one of those things where it's positive.
All right. So you want AI generated charts and graphs?
I think, yeah, I think that would be fantastic instead of just a note on one product. If you could be like, let me see all the products with the highest thing, or a list or something like that. You know, this action, the call to action on this takes you just to review all of your products, which isn't frankly that helpful. It would be better if it's like, oh, here are some more products that you might want to be looking into.
Cool.
And it's nice that it sounds like this is something that's good for small businesses, which, you know, small businesses are always complaining about. You don't really give us anything that's specific for them, because this will be, as you said, if you have 168,000 products, this will be useful for you. Yeah.
And it's like with all this AI, I understand that they're highlighting a data point, but I think the real thing would be like, can we get the AI to actually do some analysis for us, right? Like data is data, and this is nice, but it'd be cool to be able to see hot movers, hot droppers, things like that. Would love to see that.
Cool. All right. And Anu, your story.
So yeah, rounding up with some cryptocurrency news. So I didn't even realize that was still a thing. That was really big, like pre-COVID times. I'm like, okay, people are still.
No, it's huge. I just put most of my net worth into Fartcoin.
Did you?
Barry
I thought
told
you
me
were
to.
investing in Mordy. I thought it was Mordy coin. I was
Oh, is it being rebranded? Is that just another word for Mordy coin? Love you, Mordy, if you're watching this. Anyway, so yeah, updates for those who are advertising cryptocurrencies in UAE, especially. You need to, as an advertiser, you need to make sure you're licensed by the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, or the Dubai Financial Services Authority. So lots of regulatory boards that you need to be up to date with to be able to do that. So so if you don't comply with that or any of the local laws for that area, your odds might be a target for being brought down. So got to be careful with all those.
We are slowly becoming some type of financial vlogging platform. So
Yeah, we did some of that last week, didn't we?
I just like that there's a board for this. I was just looking
Yeah.
at some of the top meme coins right now. There's like right above Fart Coin is something called Pudgy Penguins. Its market cap is 618 million. I just managed to go into the board and be like, yeah, board, I have a new coin called Pudgy Penguins.
anyway, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for listening to It's New. We're back tomorrow with more stories. Have a great day. Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.